Hey, you Stygian Dogs. February 13th saw the release of the Conan the Barbarian Bound in Blackstone Volume 1 trade paperback from Heroic Signatures and Titan Comics. This, of course, collects the free Comic Book Day issue number 0 and issues number 1, 2, 3, and 4 of the Conan the Barbarian ongoing series from Titan Comics and Heroic Signatures. I'm pretty enthusiastic about this critically acclaimed series, and if you'd like an issue-by-issue look at the series, check out my Bound in Blackstone playlist. And you'll also get a chance to see how my videos have evolved over time. But in this video, I'll just provide an overview and general impressions of the trade paperback itself, as opposed to any review of the fantastic story and the artwork. And here we are, Conan the Barbarian, Bound in Blackstone, Zub, De La Torre, Villrrubia, and White, and the cover, of course, is by Dan Panosian. It's the same as the cover we see on issue number 1, except that issue number 1 is cropped, so with the trade paperback, we see the battle axe and sword in full, so that's a nice treat. And on the back cover is the image by Roberto De La Torre. This is the same image that we see on the free Comic Book Day edition. It also appears in black and white in the Conan Blood of the Serpent novel by S.M. Sterling. And the back cover reads, "The legendary Conan the Barbarian is back. Heroic Signatures and Titan Comics proudly present the epic return of Robert E. Howard's mercenary warrior. Armed with only his wits and weapon, Conan set out from his homeland of Samaria in search of glory and adventure. Now, years later, a mysterious scout warns of an imminent threat on the march, one that could destroy Conan's birthplace and the rest of the world. Will the Sumerian and his new ally be able to stop the horde of invaders and discover the strange dark power that controls them? The Hyborian Age is unleashed in a brand new tale of brutal heroic adventure from acclaimed creators Jim Zub, Avengers, Dungeons & Dragons, and Rob De La Torre, Invincible Iron Man, King-Sized Conan." And now on to the contents themselves. Opening it up, adjacent to the title page, is an advertisement for Conan the Barbarian, the official story of the film by John Walsh, followed by team credits at Heroic Signatures and Titan Comics, and Conan the Barbarian Bound in Blackstone, written by Jim Zub, art by Roberto De La Torre, colors by Dean White and Jose Villrrubia, letters by Richard Starkings of Comicraft, map illustration by Francesca Baerald, editor Matt Murray. And turning to the page, we get the map of the Hyborian Age, When Conan Walked the Earth, from Francesca Baerald. This is just a wonderful, sumptuous map. It's very detailed. In this miniaturized form, it can be hard for my old eyes to read the place names, but it's fantastic and remains an excellent resource for wayfinding. And then the obligatory introduction by way of the Numidian Chronicles. Presented as prologue is the Free Comic Book Day issue 0. That's from Free Comic Book Day 2023, titled Looking for Lands Beyond. This, of course, written by Jim Zub and drawn by Roberto De La Torre. Here in this issue and in issue number 1, the colors are by Jose Villrrubia and the lettering is Richard Starkings. In the subsequent issues, the colors are by Dean White. And I just love this particular page. It's been a while since I've looked at this book, so it's nice to have a peek at the pages again. And moving on from there, chapter 1 corresponds with issue number 1 of the ongoing series. While flipping through, I got lost in the memory of how great these issues were upon first reading. It's been a while since I've looked at them, and it was a real treat. I've got to say that I'm pretty excited to see Roberto De La Torre's return to the series in issues 9 through 12. Overall, the trade paperback feels good. In addition to that wonderful new book smell, I'm satisfied with the general quality of the volume. Nothing stands out as a negative. I believe the images are ever so slightly smaller than in the monthly issues, and there is definitely a difference in the page stock. But without a direct comparison, it's hard to say exactly what that difference is. Similarly, I was curious about the color reproduction versus the original issues, so I grabbed issue number 2, the one where Stygian Dogs is quoted on the back cover, and flipped to the awesome 2-page spread to try to get a sense of any differences. Again, the print quality is fantastic. There is perhaps a slight difference in the colors. Here the blues on Conan's face pop a little more in the single issue versus the trade paperback, but I'd say the difference is really negligible. It doesn't diminish the final product. I'd say there is absolutely a difference in page stock. The pages in the single issue are weightier and have more gloss versus the collected volume. To me, this adds a little more vibrancy and depth to the images in the monthlies, but again, this could be purely psychological and shouldn't be considered a negative against the trade paperback. To clarify, the trade paperback pages are not dull. It's just that the monthly issues possess a certain je ne sais quoi. As we flip through the rest of the book, I'd like to emphasize that this series has reignited in me a joy in purchasing a series on a monthly basis, something I haven't done in over 20 years. But I'm also fortunate that I live in a large city, so getting the series is fairly easy and not always guaranteed. It's obvious that the comics industry is changing, and I've heard from many people that have had a hard time getting the series, whether it's a matter of just basic availability or pricing. So the release of this collection is a great opportunity to get the series into the hands of fans and newcomers alike. And yes, I've made comparisons to the single issues, but the main takeaway from this video should be that you're getting a great product here. So if you've not read these stories in their physical form, here's your chance to do so. So I do encourage you to pick it up. And here, upon conclusion of issue 4, we see To Be Continued. We then get the Jeffrey Shanks essay that had appeared in the Free Comic Book Day issue, A Word from the Wise, Hither Came Conan. There's a lovely illustration here of Robert E. Howard's characters and a legend at the bottom, and we can guess we may see some of these characters in future endeavors. And then we get the first 4 parts of Robert E. Howard and His Ages Undreamed Of by Jeffrey Shanks. And then the covers gallery displaying all the variant covers from the first 4 issues. I wish I could say I have them all, but I do have a good number of them. Following the covers gallery, some character sketches of Brissa by Roberto De La Torre. These are nice. I do wish there were some Conan sketches. Following that, creator bios for Jim Zub, Roberto De La Torre, Richard Starkings, Jeffrey Shanks, Jose Villrrubia, and Dean White. And on the final page, we see advertisements for the Conan the Barbarian and the Savage Sword of Conan Omnibus being released from Titan Books and Heroic Signatures. In summary, here are my key takeaways. The complete version of Francesca Baerald's map of the Hyborian Age is wonderful to have. Other than the large poster and the variant cover for issue number 1, we've mostly just seen snippets of it. The trade paperback also successfully reproduces the color and the artwork, so there's no concern there. It also understandably removes the redundancy of the previous issue summaries that were in the monthlies. This tightens everything up and makes the trade paperback an all the more gripping read. It also retains Jeffrey Shanks' essays. These are a great read, and I think they offer a lot of insight into what Heroic Signatures is doing with the property. The amalgamation of the covers galleries is also a nice touch, as are the illustrations of Brissa, though I think I'd like to see some sketches of Conan as well. The only thing you're losing here is the monthly letters pages and the oh-so-luxurious pleasure of reading a Conan adventure on those glossy pages. This is a must-have collection at a great price, so I encourage you to pick it up. Thanks for watching, liking, and subscribing. I'll include a link to the Bound in Blackstone trade paperback in the video description. And don't forget that Thrice Marked for Death is available for pre-order. This releases June 11th, and it collects issues 5 through 8 with story by Jim Zub and art by Doug Braithwaite. And until next time, take it easy, you Stygian Dogs.